Let's get into action. So this one says, hello, sisters. First of all, I think I might be overreacting overreacting, but I want to ask to be sure that I actually am. My wife was raised by a man she calls her uncle, though I later found out that they're not blood related or blood relatives. He took care of her and her siblings when their parents died. In other words, they were staying with him and his family. When I met my wife, she introduced me to her family, and it seemed like it was only her mother and siblings who were excited about my decision to marry her, of course. My wife is a very beautiful woman, so I was also surprised that she was single at the time we met. Fast forward, her uncle gave her hand in marriage to me, and it's been 2 years already. The man talks to her every single day on phone, not forgetting texting her on WhatsApp frequently. I wasn't initially concerned about it until the man invited me to his office one day. He educated me on what turned his daughter on, what sex positions she likes, and how long I had to thrust or go deeper before ejaculating. It was an unpleasant conversation, but we had it man to man. He asked me how long I last in penetrative sex, and I said 5 to 7 minutes. Sisters, that has always been my longest, and I'm a strong guy in bed. He told me to try to get 15 minutes, since he can even clock 15 minutes at his age. He said that that would give my wife a proper orgasm. He told me I needed to be a man. I've been thinking of all sorts of things since we had that conversation. Could they have had a sexual encounter or relationship before I came into the picture? Or am I just being paranoid? Gail, I'll throw this right to you.
Yes, I think they had, and I think they still do. That's what I think. Because it's not even about what he said, but it's like, how can you know so much about someone's, sexual preferences? How can you know so much about someone and what gets her there if you've not been intimate with her? Because she can have the conversation with you and just say, this is what I like and blah blah blah. But the way the guy gives so much details is like, and then they said he's not even a real uncle at the end of the day. So it makes sense that maybe because he was helping them, they said he was helping them. So it could be that whilst he was helping them, he took advantage of it. And so maybe people don't even know how much the wife, how far their relationship has gone. Maybe they don't even know that she's been sexually, involved with the man. So maybe they don't know, or they know, I don't know. It could have been that maybe that was the part of the deal where, some people will always be, friends with their family, and they'll be like, oh, that's your uncle, blah, blah, blah. But then it will be like, okay, maybe when the person gets older, you may marry her. Sometimes some families do that as a deal, like when the person is younger, oh, take her to school and
when she grows up.
Then when she grows up. So who knows, maybe it was a deal, I don't know. Because they were saying that, they're saying that that man and the siblings were kind of happy when this guy came into the picture. So it could also mean that they know what's going on and they feel like they need someone else to use someone else as a cover-up so that they can continue what they are doing. It's a bit weird at the end of the day. But what struck me was for him to come and tell this man all these things. I don't know what his motive is to tell the guy those things. But for me, what I see is that I think he's still having a relationship with the lady, and so this guy is just a side piece. I wanted to use a different word, but I prefer to use the side piece, and I think that's what he's being used for. This is not a marriage, especially when two people are not on the same page in a relationship. I always say that it's not a relationship or a marriage, because from the way the guy is sounding, it's like he's a third wheel sort of. He's not like he's being used, So I think he's not imagining things. He has to just get out. I don't think it's a healthy, place to be. No, I think they're using him. They just used him.
All right, Rosina, let me come to you. Gail thinks that this is not a marriage at all. No. There's something going on. You share the same sentiments.
Partly. I think is that, like Gail said, most likely she and the man were having sexual relations when she was being taken care of by the man. That is without question, because there is no way he would have access to such detail unless, of course, he's personally experienced it. Because it's one thing, maybe the woman being so comfortable with him because they're friends and probably confiding in the man that, oh, my husband is probably not to this, not to that, so could you give him some advice to sort of push him? That one would have come like, oh, Charlie, how's your sex life? You know, the women of these days, they like it this, you know, try and do this. But the level of detail with the timing, 15 minutes, how deep you should go before you... For me, that level of detail is highly uncomfortable and very disrespectful to the man. This is what I think. What I think is that they were having sexual relations, agreed. And when the woman found somebody else to get married to, the man was probably not happy about it. And as the text said, that it was only the mother and the siblings who were happy about the marriage, but he wasn't. It's possible that the girl woke up and told the man that, you know what, I'm getting married. So because I'm getting married, this relationship that we have cannot continue. The man is not happy about it. So that's where I differ with Gail. I beg to differ that the sexual bit is still going on. Of course, he's attached to her, but it's possible that he's no more giving her that sexual bit. So this ploy is by the man to sort of destroy, because they've been in it for 2 years, to sort of destroy what they have, or what this lady seems to have with her husband, probably. So he's coming up with all kinds of things, horrible things, so that the man will probably get a picture like, look, I was there before you came. And I know a lot of things that you don't know. So he's probably hoping that if the guy is smart enough, he'll read through the lines and probably leave this girl, not be with her, and then he can have his cake, he can eat his cake again. So it's two things. What Gail is saying, absolutely, I agree with it, but there could also be another angle where they probably aren't sleeping together anymore, but the man has not accepted the fact that the woman is no more under her control. Because why after 2 years? Why? And why call the man into your office with so much detail? Listen, anybody that can give so much detail of somebody's sexual preferences has been there. Absolutely. It's not a theory. It's not a verbal discussion has been there. This level of detail is too much for something that was just described to you that you are describing back. Because trust me, if you ask me, I won't be able to give you these details about myself. Somebody has to experience it to give all these details about you. So that's what I think. I think the sexual experience, the two of them were doing it. But most likely the girl wants to pull out and the man is not in agreement. So he's waited, thinking that maybe the girl will come back after some time. But the girl is probably very comfortable in her marriage. And he wants to do something to destabilize it so that he can get the girl's attention again. That's what I think.
All right. Olivia, do you have a different opinion?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, stories like this just drive me so crazy. The reason being, men who take advantage of young women, at the end of the day, it's both parties who agreed. Okay, yes, the girl could have said no to it, this old man, supposed uncle of hers, and she could have decided not to be in, a sexual relationship with him. But I feel as though the guy literally took advantage of the girl's situation, and the girl probably had no choice because he was sort of helped financially. So he's got that grip, he's got that power over her, he's got, he knows what he's talking about when he's talking about this girl. So two things. It could either be, like Rosie was saying, that he just wants to ruin her marriage. Now, my mind goes back. I'm asking myself this question, okay? This guy, you've been married to this girl, okay? As far as you're concerned, the 7 minutes, how is intimacy like between you and your wife? Does she give you a reason to think that, she's not satisfied? Have you had like a conversation with regards to sex? It could be that maybe she's actually happy with you. And it could actually be that she has no problem. And it could also be that this man, because he hasn't heard anything in the last 2 years, he just wants to, make the girl's marriage unbearable for her. i.e., getting into all kinds of details, sexual details, in terms of conversation with this other guy. And for me, I feel very troubled for you. If this girl hasn't given you a reason to doubt her, maybe she's actually been faithful to you. She hasn't cheated on you ever since you guys got married. Yes, right now this sugar daddy or whoever he is has set your mind rolling. Now you're asking yourself questions. So in order to give yourself a bit of peace of mind, I think you can do a bit of groundwork. Okay, do a bit of groundwork. If you want information, finding information in Ghana is easy. If you want to find out whether she's been intimate with this so-called uncle, you can easily find out. You can go to her area and speak to a few people. That's if you want to go the long route. Me, I'll just ask you head on. Okay, I'll ask her. I'll have a conversation with my wife and say, okay, this is exactly what happened. This guy called me into his office, blah, 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 blah. Is it true? Is it not? You may be able to get something based on her body language. You've been with her for a while. You should be able to know her to some extent. Well, you don't know everybody 100%, but at least you should be able to know. But the question is, after you get your answer, whether yes or no, would you trust her 110%? Because this thing could go two ways. So,
yeah.
Genuinely, maybe she had a relationship with this other guy, cut it off, and she's trying to move on. Or it could also be that this other guy is trying to ruin your relationship. So the question is, what do you actually want? Do you see yourself, even if she's had a past with this guy, do you see yourself moving past? Well, then other conversations come up with regards to trust. If she ended up being intimate with this guy, because Charlie, the way this guy is talking, he's so sure that it's 15 minutes, not 7 minutes. You see, so the guy is giving a lot more detailed information. The other question will be, okay, why didn't she tell you that this was the kind of relationship she had? And for me, I think what even spoils the girl's case, right, is that you have proof that she's been talking to her uncle. Okay, her so-called uncle. They're actually they have a conversation whereby they talk every day, and they're on the phone, they're texting. Now, for me, personally, sitting here, reviewing what you just sent in, for me, that's a red flag. For me, that's a big red flag. And I was going to say initially in my submission, I was going to say, okay, maybe she's cut things off, maybe she doesn't want to be intimate and stuff. But clearly, this guy doesn't want to let go of this girl. Okay, so clearly she's in a relationship with this guy. The question is, this girl should decide what she wants, whether she wants you or she wants this other guy, so that you know what to do. But for me, I don't think I would advise you to still be in this kind of relationship, because if you cannot be faking orgasm this whole time, how would you know? You cannot beat that 15 minutes that she's been used to. What if the guy was her first? And usually, if the guy was her first and she's been with the guy for the longest time, when you're intimate with somebody for a long period of time, they know your sexual rhythm. They know how you are. They know how to gel with you to get you there. So I don't think that that's something you can compete with. First and foremost, I don't think. You guys are going to have trust issues. You guys intimately, for a man and for your ego and your sexuality as a man and everything, right now is going to be compromised. You can never match up to this other guy. Who knows? Maybe this girl has even complained to the guy that, Charlie, you think that you're a strong man, but Charlie, you are not hitting her the right way that she's expecting to be hit. Or, she can't get an orgasm. She's probably faking it. And you don't know. Charlie, I don't think you should be played. Me, point blank, I'll go ask the girl, look at her demeanor, and decide what I want. But I don't think it will be a relationship I want to be in. I don't like divorce, but this one, some way. Intimacy, sexuality is about two souls coming together, and this guy has a grip on this girl. So I don't know. You have to, this one, you won't pack. You have to make this decision on your own. Decide what you want and then take it from there. But for me, if I were in your shoes, I don't think it will be a relationship I would want to be in. Right. I think you should move on. In a nutshell, that's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, I can't help but agree. This all sounds really fishy. Just the guy is just too concise when it comes to what she wants. It's obvious they have been intimate that much. I think we all agree on. Yeah. As to whether they're still doing it, that's another conversation. But if I was the guy, I'll just go straight ahead to ask the woman. Like, hey, this is the conversation I had with your dad or uncle, and I'm very uncomfortable with it. What say you? And then going forward, I will tell this woman, listen, I do not appreciate you communicating with him every day. Like, what do you guys talk about? I think it's that your uncle's coming between us, and then that would be like a good place to start. So, dear gentlemen, well, we've shared our 2 cents, but the onus really lies on you. So we wish you the best of luck with that one. A couple of comments. Lysis says, maybe she was shy to tell you how she likes it, and more so, this is someone like a father to her who would have been confident to confide, and she would have been confident to confide in him on many things, especially whilst growing up. Papa Yao says, there's something in the soup. How on earth did he get all those details? You don't have all the information. Start digging on your own. Your wife won't tell you anything, so don't even try asking you. If she wanted you to know, she would have told you. Lungu says, uncle has definitely been sleeping with niece. Just ask her, she'll confirm. Talking and texting every day, they're probably still sleeping together, by the way. He's a bit too specific on what she wants or likes. Aurora says, this man shouldn't be so foolish to give you clues for you to detect that they have dated before. Your wife has complained to him about your 2-minute drama in bed. But also, please find some medicine and get down well with your wife and stop thinking like a child. 5 to 7 minutes? Ha ha ha, you're laughing. Hey, all right, you're a hard guy. Agnes says, oh my God, you are not paranoid at all, but your intuition is telling you something. I'm sure this man was sleeping with your wife, and it could be continuing as we speak. I'm also sure your wife is saying these things to the man, and that's why he called you. Na says, if you were intimate, that's past. Don't worry. Don't use your own hand to destroy your marriage. Avoid that uncle of your wife like Corona. He will destroy your marriage, and find a way to caution your wife as well. Posh says, will he give you details about what he knows nothing about? Definitely not. A woman cannot discuss the details of what makes her come and how she likes it with her uncle to be the one to point it out and be bold enough to discuss the details with you. There's something fishy. Pay more attention. And finally, Abdallah says, I have a feeling they've been intimate before, and as to whether they still have a sexual relationship, the signs seem obvious with the discussion he's had with you. For a man, your wife refers to as an uncle who isn't blood related to know so much about your wife's sexual preferences raises red flags, and you should investigate thoroughly, because from the look of things, there seems to be a lot happening on your blind side. Thank you so much for watching Sister Sister on your favorite City TV. Now, don't forget, if you want some more exciting content, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. We call it the City Tube. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications for fresh updates. Sister Sister, every Friday at 9 p.m. only on City TV.